Here's the Deal is brought to you by VEBS, Veteran Essential Business Services. We are your business air support. We have your six. You served your country faithfully. Now it's time to blaze your own path. Here's the Deal is a show for veterans, by veterans, to discuss real-world issues on how to start and run your own business. It's a cross between Dave Ramsey, Maria Bartiromo, and Joe Rogan. This is not academia. It's the truth. Here's the deal. Here's the Deal is proud to present our very first sponsor. It's B&G Chicago Catering. If you're in the mood for fresh, authentic Chicago-style favorites, check out B&G Chicago Catering. Founded by two Marine vets, and no, there's no crayon flavors involved here. B&G Chicago Catering is professional mobile food cart service, well-suited for large crowds and intimate gatherings. Currently serving the Metro Phoenix and Metro Tucson areas. B&G Chicago Catering will drive up to your next event, business storefront, or private party. Chicago classics like Chicago dogs, my personal favorite is the Italian beef, bratwurst, Polish sausage. They got tamales and more. All their food is made to order, hot and fresh, using only Vienna products. B&G Chicago Catering comes fully equipped and takes care of all the cleanup. So if you're looking for a way to give back to your employees and all the efforts they've been putting forth this year, need a last minute option for a small intimate birthday party, need to spotlight your storefront reopening, which hopefully they all get there soon, check out B&G Chicago Catering. You can find them at www.bgchicagocatering.com. You can follow on Instagram at BG Chicago Catering 520. Give them a call at 520-262-7596. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is your host Chris Flowers. Here's the deal. I'm proud to announce the partnership between the City of Surprise and the AZ Tech Accelerator, which where the show is now coming to you from. City Surprise, known them for years. Julie Neal, the whole economic development team, the mayor. They're great for small business. They really go all out. They actually repurposed their old city hall. They could have sold the property. They could have, leased it out, whatever. But what they did is they repurposed it as an innovation hub for small businesses here in the City of Surprise. They do technology, innovation, collaborative co-workspace. So you have that shared workspace that a lot of people like to use now rather than leasing, an expensive office space. They also even have small business resource counseling, where I'm a speaker on business lending here quite a bit. And also they have free education webinars. So if you're a small business and you're located near the City of Surprise, maybe you're working from home, kind of outgrowing your space. You want to be around some, maybe some other people, get innovative and collaborative, things like that. Come check out AZ Tech Accelerator. Come talk to Julie Neal. She's the host here. She takes care of it. This is her baby. So come talk to Julie, and you'll find that working with the City Surprise is a great resource for you and your business. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is your host, Chris Flowers of Here's the Deal. First and foremost, of course, as a proud mama's boy myself, I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. You guys are totally like the backbone of the family, so we couldn't do anything without you guys. And then, my mom and my wife included, because my wife isn't doing an outstanding job with the kids and like that, so just want to say thanks to all the moms out there, because you guys are awesome. And also, like I said, just to kind of formally announce too, I have taken my talents to Pacific Premier Bank. I'm changing banks, and so far everything's going fantastic. Been there for about a week now, and getting all integrated into systems and everything like that. But the thing that came into mind was that, the one thing I don't want to say anything bad about my former employer, but not taking the employees first. I think a lot of really old school mentality has this thing of, you think you can just ask people to produce more, pay less. They think you're lucky to have a job, kind of thing, or I think employers, I think that really old school mentality really needs to switch, and I'm not the youngest guy in the world. I mean, let's be real here, but at the same time, you know, you have to learn how to evolve. You can't just do the same old business model and expect everything to keep rolling along. I mean, look at the telephone. You know what I mean? Look at Blockbuster. Look at all these things that have come and gone. Full service. You guys aren't even old enough to remember going to the gas station and somebody would actually fill your tank for you. You never had to get out of your car. So, I mean, that's how old I am. So, this old school mentality. I mean, obviously, certain industries you can't. I mean, any industry you can treat the employees well. That doesn't that's universal, right? But in this evolving world, especially now with COVID and people working from home, businesses have to evolve with the work from home or the working remote mentality. In the banking industry, like I said, people have this lack of leadership ability to where if they can't see you, they can't manage you, and that's like a dinosaur, man. It's old. I mean, if you're a good enough leader and you're smart enough and you hire the right people, that's the thing. You have to hire the right people. You can't use you got to have some kind of input on it. You know what I mean? You got to be able to get that feel for these people. Some people are, good at doing their jobs, but they're not necessarily great at people to hire people, or they're not great at managing people. You got to evolve, I think, that mentality. So I think that's the emphasis that a lot of businesses that are out there, everybody's like, oh, the customer's always first. Customer's always first. I like the Richard Branson quote, because I think this really kind of sums it up. It says clients don't come first, the employees come first. If you take care of the employees, they'll take care of the clients. And it's like such a profound statement, you know what I mean? Because if you're really taking care of your employees, they're gonna be all bought in. They're gonna be all in on your business, okay? If you're really taking good care of the employees, if they feel like their opinions matter, if they feel like they matter as people, if they feel like you respect them and you respect their opinions, and now of course at the end of the day, you're always going to be the boss. I mean, you always have to make the bottom line decision, because you're the one signing the front of the checks. So it's always going to come down to a certain point of, hey, this is how I want it done, make it happen. Okay, I mean, that's got to be the line in every business. But if you hire the right people and they know how you want it done, they're going to do it the way you want to do it, because they're going to be well compensated, they're going to be taken care of, they're going to be respected, they're going to want to do it that way because they're going to want to do a good job. That's, I think people just mostly have that inherent in them. But I think a lot of these people, like I said, these companies, they need to evolve their mentality. They need to evolve. The whole thing. If I can't see them, I can't manage them. That's dead, man. That's dead. That's, I mean, certainly, obviously, if you run a garage, okay, well, yeah, of course the employee's got to be in there because you're at the shop, that's where the tools are, kind of thing, things like that. There's certain industries that are going to be, in place and got to be there, kind of thing. But there are certain jobs nowadays, man, you can evolve this thing to where, if it's data entry or if it's, something like that, I mean, you can, with, especially now, I mean, everybody's so accustomed to, Zoom meetings and everything like that, and team meetups and everything, which, I mean, I'm a face-to-face guy. I like, meeting face-to-face, which, of course, you could do that. You got to build that camaraderie that way, too, I think, a little bit. But even with FaceTime and, all that kind of good stuff, at least you get to see people a little bit and you get to talk to them, get a feel for them a little bit. But, I mean, nothing's going to beat a good face-to-face meeting. But for the most part, especially like employees, if you get, I mean, then, your talent pool opens up so much. You don't have to hire somebody from the local area. It's like, oh, I got to drive all the way across town. I'm spending 2 hours a day in a car, windshield time. That's not productive. That sucks, right? So they're already pissed off because they had to drive 2 hours to get to freaking work. You know what I mean? Traffic around here is starting to suck like really bad now. So it's like, hey, if I don't have to do all that drive time, you know what I mean? I'm already going to be in a better mood. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it's going to cost me less money in gas. Let's wear a tear my car. Hey, let's throw the green thing on there. It's better for the environment too, right? Okay, we'll put the little green spin on there. All right. I'm okay with that. Hey, man, all the above, dude. I mean, I think it's great all the way around, you know? So I think just people's mentalities have to evolve. And if you're starting a business now, yeah, first, you definitely got to be maybe a little more hands on, you know, obviously, like I said. But when you get to that point where you can start hiring people and, you know, if it's something that, you know, can be done remotely, you can give somebody that option. Or, hey, like, hey, come in like a couple times a week, you know, and do the rest of the time remote. Even that right there, you're giving people that option, giving people that flexibility. You know, that's huge, right? I mean, that's like, that gives people a lot of, you know, like, hey, this guy trusts me, or this lady trusts me. You know, they're gonna, people are, you know, inherently, you know, yeah. I mean, they're going to do. Some people are going to do a good job inherently, and inherently, some people are just going to be dirtbags no matter what. You can treat them like gold, and they're still going to steal and cheat and do whatever and be just dirtbags because that's just who they are. But I mean, you can't live your life like that. You have to. But again, if you're hiring the right people, if you can get that feel for them and kind of, you know, get the feel that, hey, you know, my boss, you know, now she's in California, right? She ain't never gonna see me. I mean, we have our, you know, I know they're gonna go back to doing like face-to-face meetings and things like that once they open up California a little more. But they're, you know, we won't even get into all that. But you know, so it's gonna, you know, that's gonna happen. But at the same time, you know, she got a good feel for me. She's like, hey, you know what, this guy's motivated. You know, I know he's gonna do the job. You know, I'm not gonna have to, you know, she's not gonna micromanage me. If anything, I talked to some of the employees. They're like, if anything, you're gonna have to call her probably and like, hey, I want to talk. You know, she's gonna like really be hands off. You know, if I'm doing my job, if I'm producing and doing my job, which I do, you know, and that's the other thing. It's like leaving my other employer is like they're all like, hey, you know, like, dude, leave me alone. Okay, I got this. Okay, I've been doing this a long time now. Like I'm good. Okay, if anything, you know, if I call you, if I need you, I'll call you. If don't. Okay. I mean, yeah, you gotta have your weekly. Yeah, we do like a weekly pipeline. I mean, of course. I mean, yeah, that's great. And with Zoom, like I said, I can see everybody. Everything's cool. Kind of deal. So you get at least that little bit of team build up a little bit because, like I said, there's nobody here in Arizona but me, pretty much. Um, so I mean, there's that. But I really just like the fact that, hey, you know, they set me up a dope ass home office. They sent me the really nice equipment because that's the other thing too. Think about this: if you don't have to lease a building, right? If you don't have to lease an office space, right? You can spend more money on your equipment and make people that much more productive, get them better equipment, right? To work from home, and then, you know what I mean? You're saving money. Ultimately, I mean, yeah, you're going to spend a lot more money on computers or monitors and all that kind of stuff. But think about it, you don't have that monthly payment every month to pay for that office space. You know what I mean? I mean, how awesome is that? You're saving a ton of money, right? So that's definitely a win, no doubt about it. So I think that's the one thing you'll see. Like I said, you'll see the businesses that make it, and you'll see the businesses that don't. You know, because like I said, Blockbuster, man, Blockbuster was huge everywhere. Where are they now? Dead. You know what I mean? Dead. Because they didn't want to change their mentality. Like, oh, people are always rent videos, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we do. We stream them. You know what I'm saying? HBO Max. Hello. Love my HBO Max. Love my Amazon Prime Video. All that kind of good stuff. You know what I mean? You got to evolve, man. You got to hire the right people. You got to be willing to, you know, take a chance on somebody, and you know, you got to train them. You know, obviously your way, your style. They're gonna put their spin on it, but you know, as long as they're doing the job the way you want it done and meeting your quality expectations, you know, hey man, let them run with it. And you know, I really like the Steve Jobs quote too. It said it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. I really can appreciate that too. I mean, obviously, of course, I said to a certain extent, you're the one signing the front of the check, so you're always going to be the bottom line answer. Like, hey, it's going to get done this way, right? But you know, you got to let people have some free reign. You got to let people, you know, as long as they're meeting your standard, because obviously it's your brand that you're building. They got to, you know, be a certain level of customer service. Got to be a certain level of, hey, we, you know, we got to call people back within this amount of time, or do whatever. We got to meet these deadlines. Okay, as long as they're doing that, hey man, or they say, hey, you know what, we're doing it this way, right? Because that's the other thing too. I've had so many ideas like, hey, we're killing ourselves here, using this old tech. Like, why don't we get some new tech? No, spend some, but we're going to be so much more efficient. They weren't having that. They got this old school 1980s mentality, spreadsheets and crap. It's just ridiculous. It's fucking medieval. I was like, Jesus Christ, and that's the thing. It's like, if you don't evolve, you die. You know what I mean? If you don't evolve, you're going to die. You're going to go by the way of the payphone. You're going to go by the way of Blockbuster. All right? You have to evolve, man. And you got to be willing to, put the time and the money into, the things that are going to make the company more streamlined. So if you got a person that's really smart, that knows what they're doing a good job, and they say, hey, we're doing things this way, but what if we tried it this way? And I think this would make this situation a little more efficient. It would save us a lot of time, or this, that, and the other, Check it out. And then if it works, just say, hey, you know what? Hey, that's a great idea. I think we're going to implement that. Or if it doesn't, or if it doesn't meet your standard, or it doesn't, say, hey, you know what? I appreciate that, but we have to do it this way because we have to meet this compliance or whatever. I don't, it just depends on the situation. Or maybe you can find something in the middle. Hey, you know what? That way is really cool, but I have to spend a ton of money to get there, kind of thing. So why don't we try to find a way that's maybe a little more cost effective right now? We'll get there, but we'll make that like our long range goal. If we're trying to see that thing in the middle, be willing to take on, people's ideas, let them have input, because the more they feel bought into the company, the less likely they are to leave. And especially if you're compensating them well, you're treating them well, treat them with respect. They're like, hey, this guy's listening, or this gal's listening to me. I mean, they're hearing what I'm saying. They're like, and you're taking it under advisement, and or they're making moves, or they just flat out implement. Like, hey, you know what? That's a great idea. We're going to do that like tomorrow, and boom, and rolling with it. They're not leaving you. Your turnover is going to be zero, right? Your customers are going to appreciate that because they're going to be talking to the same people all the time and say, oh, who's the new guy? Oh, I just talked to. Oh, where's Steve? Oh, Steve left. It's that constant, revolving door crap. That costs you more money than anything. Let me tell you what. Going out and trying to hire somebody and train them, and this, I mean, it's going to cost you so much time and money and effort. I mean, you're going to be, rather than if you have the good group of core people and you train them right, you treat them right, give them the right gear, let them roll, they're doing their thing, man, you're going to save. You're going to make, not only, maybe you don't quote unquote save money, but you're going to make a shitload more money. Does that make sense? So it's not about, like I said, you don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. Okay. You want to, be able to evolve the company, make money. Okay. Increase your profitability. You know what I'm saying? And to do that, you're going to have to maybe, pay a little more in compensation, but if you get that return, tenfold on, on that investment, it's beautiful. Right. So I think that's the thing that I really appreciated about going to Pacific Premier Bank. Like I said, they were just willing to let me just run. They get it. They're like, hey, you know what? You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. Learn our way of doing it. Learn how our deals work. And we're going to go through that. We're not just going to leave you out there. You can talk to any one of us. We're going to, we're in there. They're so team oriented. It's not like, because they're just let me, fly by the seat of my pants. They're super team oriented. Hey, if you need this, you talk to this person. You want to run deals by, you talk to me, or you talk to so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? It's all, everything's integrated. Everybody's on the same page. They're in different places. They're in different locations. But it's like, if I call one of my teammates, they're like, hey, got this thing. They're like, okay, yeah, here's how we do it. Yeah, that's good. Or, hey, we can't do that like that. And everybody's just willing to dive in there and help out. I mean, that's beautiful. It's like they're building a good team culture. And I think that's really important when you're going to have a core group of people that are going to, you're going to be working with. I know that's the mentality that Dave Ramsey has. Like I said, he doesn't, if you read the book Entre Leadership, which I highly recommend, it's all about team. It's like, he goes, I don't hire employees, I hire teammates. Because I need to rely on these people to do, this job in this way, this, and get it done in this amount of time, you know. But if he doesn't have to micromanage. He doesn't have to be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, hey, when he needs them, they're there, and he doesn't have to ask for progress reports. He doesn't have to ask for whatever, because it's all laid out. It's all there. Everything's happening. It's a machine. It's a well run, well oiled machine. Of course, when you're first starting out, you're the one wearing all those hats, but I think you really got to have that mentality of, I want to get to a point where, I'm going to hire people, I'm going to delegate, certain responsibilities to certain people. You got to learn how to let that go too, man. I know it's hard for a lot of people, especially when you're grinding your ass off 7 days a week, 18-hour days, grinding, getting the business off the ground. And some people come in, like I said, and I know, like I said, there's people out there, hey, I did hire some people and they ripped me off and did all that. But it's, you're going to have that. That's just business, man. That's just the way, I said, people can be dirty, man. So, but if you get the right people and you train them the right way, you got to just let them run, dude. It's kind of like, I don't know if people out there are parents or not. Like I said, when you're teaching your kid how to ride a bike, you're trying to tell them, okay, you got to, look forward, don't look down at the ground. Got to, pedal, got to pedal faster. The faster you pedal, the more balance you're going to have, things like that. But then, of course, you're kind of like, rolling along with them. And then sooner or later, you got to let go of that seat, man. You got to let go of the seat. You got to train these employees to how you want it done. This is the quality of work that we do. This is how we do it. This is the timeline I want it done in. Okay. These are our standards. Once you get them to that point, and they're hitting all their marks, you got to let them run, man. Let them do their thing. It's up to them. And if they don't follow up, they don't follow through, they fail. Okay, well, hey, of course there's, LOCs and LORs or whatever, however you want, phrase it. We're military, so how we do it. You don't go scope. Maybe you'll go right to the Article 15, start with an LOC, get an LOR or whatever, type deal. Coach them up. Say, hey, you know what? We're not hitting it here. Hey, how can I help you? Like, what stumbling blocks you have? You don't want to just go right to, hey, you suck, you're fired, get out. I mean, that's ridiculous. It was like I worked for Charles Schwab in 2001 when 9/11 happened. Okay, now I'll tell you something about Charles Schwab. I haven't worked there in a long time, but I tell you what, they treat employees right. They know how to treat employees the right way. And I remember, I was like super new, right? Like I just got my license, 9/11 happened, of course, and then I know, like back in the day, like Merrill Lynch, man, if their stock price went down a penny, they were throwing brokers out the door left and right. They didn't give a shit. Right? They never cared about people, let alone 9/11. Hell, but when 9/11 happened, Charles Schwab, Chuck Schwab were like $9 billion, something ridiculous amount of money. I mean, he ain't gonna miss a paycheck. Nothing's gonna harm him, right? But him and Dave Pottruck, the two co-CEOs at the time, them and every officer down, like they were like taking cuts and like bonuses, and just to keep people, literally temporary people in the mailroom hired. Okay, after 9/11, temporary people in the mailroom, they wanted them to keep their jobs, so they were willing to forego. I mean, again, Chuck Schwab were $9 billion. What bonus? You don't need a bonus. It's like he was really like stretching himself, but at the same time, the fact that he was even willing to do it says a lot to me. Because I tell you what, I guarantee you the CEO of Merrill Lynch wasn't thinking that shit. You know what I mean? They were, like I said, on a regular Tuesday, our stock price is 9 pennies, start, firing brokers. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck, right? Well, like there's a lot of employers out there, nowadays, hey, you know what? They don't, I think employees are a commodity. Like, I'll just, they leave, cool. Hey, it's an open door policy. Walk out whenever you want. Well, yeah. Well, guess what? The word gets out in the street that you're a dick. Who do you think's going to come work there? Nobody, right? Like I said, some circles, the circle is really fucking small. Okay, Word gets around really fast. Hey, those guys are douchebags and they don't want to pay commissions. They don't want to. Okay, peace. I'm out. Hey, you want to go work for us? Fuck you. You're out of your mind. I don't think so. So I think that's the thing. A lot of people, again, it's, running your own business by far and away the toughest thing you're ever going to do. I mean, it's a day to day. It's a grind, man. But then again, when you get it up and running and it's humming, you got a good team and everybody's in synergy, everybody's in sync. Everything's going good. You make it that way. You get it that way. The employees are feeling good. They're like, hey, I'm part of a really good team. I love my job. Hey, let's do this. Let's rock and roll. Let's kick ass. Man, that thing will start humming along. Life is good, right? But you can get it there, but you just have to make sure you have that mentality and make sure that you're treating those employees right, because they're going to take care of the clients. And of course, you take care of the clients, we're going to make money. It's beautiful, right? I think that's one thing. Also, I started teaching my daughter how to drive, right? Now, my daughter literally just turned 14, last month. But I started teaching her how to drive now. The reason why I'm teaching her how to drive, she got 2 years. That way, that first night, first day, she goes out on her own. She'll be 16 years old. She'll have a driver's license. Like, okay, Dad, I'm taking a car. Okay. I don't know. I know she knows how to drive. I've driven with her. I've trained her for 2 years solid. You know what I mean? She's been in every situation, kind of thing or whatever. I know she's going to know what to do. I know she's going to know how to drive. So it's going to help me breathe easier. Instead of that first night, oh, yeah, she took a couple little driver's courses or whatever. And, okay, now she's driver's license. Some people stay up, having a damn ulcer. I'm not going to have to worry about that because my daughter's going to have 2 years under her belt, and I'm going to put her through the pace at first. Of course, now we're just, pedaling along, putting around an empty parking lot. But sooner or later, when I feel that she's comfortable, she's good. Yeah, we're going on the road, and hey, we're going to go up on the freeway, and then you know what? We're going to start driving in the rain. We're going to start, hey, it's raining out. Let's go drive, get some practice. See what I'm saying? Because I want to know when she's out there, she knows she's squared away. You know what I mean? She knows what she's doing, and that will help her relax in a stressful situation. It's also going to help me and my wife really relax and not have an ulcer. And then we're going to do the same thing with our son. And my son's only 12 right now. But when he turns 14, I told him the same thing. 14th birthday, we're going driving. That's when it starts. So of course, and she was terrified at first. She's like, oh my God, And I said we're just kind of putting along. I said this little, it's not a parking lot. It's they're building homes, so it's all like the streets are all like developed in there like that. So there's all the roads, but there's no houses in there. Yeah, it's over by her house. So she's just kind of like, and it's like a road. So it's she got the curbs on the side and everything. So everything like that. So she learned how to keep it in the lane and everything like that. But when I feel she's ready, then I'm gonna I know I can cut her loose. And she's gonna be okay. And then I can send her, hey, go to the store and go get me, some eggs or something, and I'll be good. Like, hey, I know she knows how to drive. She's good, right? So if you have the right employees, if you hire right, and that's always a challenge too. Like I said, I know it's a challenge, but if you're hiring right, you got the right people, and you train them, you give them the right tools, you give them the respect that they deserve, and hey, you know what? And, they're human beings too. Like, especially if you let people work from home, they can take care of their kids a little more. Of course, like I said, there's always got to be that balance. But hey, you know what? This is the job. When you get it done, I don't care. Hey, you get it done. We hit these marks. If you do it in 4 hours, great. You do it in 10 hours, great. If it takes you 24 hours, well, I mean that's up to you. But some people are going to be willing to work a little more and work a little harder if they know that you're, like I said, you're respecting them and you're taking care of them. So, and I think that's the place we all got to get to. We got to get to a point to where, if you have the opportunity, depending on, of course, like I said, depending on the business, certain business you got to be hands on, and if you're, like I said, you're running a garage or something like that. I mean, yeah, of course, or you're running a construction company, you got the right crews going out. You don't have to babysit the crews all the time. You got a good foreman running the crew. Hey, we're good. We're solid. Just let the foreman do his thing. He knows what he's doing. We hire the right people. So I think that's the mentality we got to start. Either we got to either evolve to. Maybe maybe you said you're at a point right now where just you've been the one man show and it's time to start hiring. Think about this. Like I said, think about taking care of the employees up front. Like I said, if you can create less turnover, your company's going to save your company a whole bunch of money. So maybe even you compensate your people a little more. You know what I mean? Maybe a little more than market, just to say, hey, you know what? Because I appreciate you as an employee, as a person, and things like that. I am willing to pay you a little more, but I want you, to know that, hey, this is our standard, this is our deal, and they're gonna be willing to meet that. I'm like, man, this guy's paying me more than I would have got over here. And they're gonna want to work for that, and if they don't, you're gonna have to cut them loose. But that's on them. That's up to them to step up. You know what I mean? So either evolve into that mentality of, hey, I got to start delegating. I got to start letting go a little bit. I got to start maybe thinking about, hiring people. Because like I said, your pool can open. Maybe, like I said, you don't have to hire somebody here. You can hire somebody that's out of state that can kick ass and do the job. Hey, open it up to local people first, of course. But if there's, you're not getting the needs met, and hey, I can hire somebody in like Colorado or whatever. They're willing to do the job. They got the tools. They can, they can rock and roll. Okay, cool. It just opens up your talent pool that much more. And everything in between. So, that's the thing I'd say. I think just really wanted to press home is that the employee. You got to treat your employees right. They got to come first, man. And you can't have this nickel dime, penny wise pound foolish mentality, man. You got to be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna pay my people right, and I'm take care of them right, and they're gonna work hard, and they're gonna kick ass, and we're gonna do this thing. So just evolve, treat your employees right. They'll take care of the customers, and we're out. I just like to take a second to close out the show like we always do. First of all, I got to give all thanks, honor, and glory to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, because without him, I wouldn't even be on this planet anymore, let alone being able to do this show in the position that I'm in. And, of course, I have to also give thanks and recognition to my wife and my family for just supporting me through all this and standing by me while we're going off on this new venture here. And last but not least, I got to give thanks to my brother Mario Aguirre of Fallen 360, because without him giving me the kick in the ass to get this thing started and working with me, getting me squared away on some equipment and stuff like that, and just always giving me tips and stuff, keep me moving forward. That brother is always going to be my partner in crime, so got to give thanks to him and Crystal. And, of course, to the sponsors, everybody sponsoring the show and keeping this thing afloat. If you hear about our sponsors on the show, please support them, because they're supporting us and keeping everything going. So support the sponsors as well.